Thank you, Mr. Chairman. At the outset, want to express my condolences to the family of the victims of this tragedy. And I know it must be frustrating to you to listen to this testimony, and you're looking for answers, and so are we, and so is GM right now. And I hope we do get answers, because I was frustrated by the same questions that my colleague has just mentioned. I've been driving a long time, and this is a pretty well-established technology, sticking a key into an ignition and turning it. Are you aware of any other ignition problems that have been discovered or in GM or any other vehicle over the history of key ignition systems?
I have not reviewed every incident we've ever had, but we do, as we find issues, we document them and take them through our process. In this particular case, it took way too long.
And there is a new technology. I've been driving a car for 4.5 years. I confess it's a Ford product, not a GM product, that has a push-button ignition. I was in a GM car last week, very nice one, by the way, which has a push-button ignition system. How do you make a judgment as to whether a car has a push-button ignition system or a key ignition system, and what are the differences? First of all, in terms of safety, we know that this particular situation wouldn't occur with a push-button ignition system, but how do you make that decision as to what goes into which car?
We evaluate, and actually the push-button start is something that we're evaluating putting across the portfolio. As you look at the specifics of a push-button start versus a traditional ignition, I'd like our experts to provide that information because, again, the ignition switch and how it is a component that operates as part of the system of the vehicle, especially as it relates from a safety perspective, and I think we'd be better served to have our experts cover that.
But you are doing an analysis of whether a push-button ignition system is safer than a key ignition system?
We can definitely do that. I think there's been work done that both can be designed to be safe, but we are looking, because of the customer, it's a function, it's a delighter. Usually when the vehicle has a push-button start, we have them on some of our vehicles. We continue to roll those out across our entire portfolio, and we're looking at doing it across the board.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea if there's a difference in safety. There may be none, but it'd be worth doing that analysis. One of my staff members has a 2005 Malibu that was recalled because of a power steering issue, and she called the dealership, and the dealership said that they didn't know how to fix it. So my question to you is, are you confident that GM knows how to fix the vehicles it recalls for the variety of problems that have?
Well, first of all, if we find a situation that's not safe and we don't know how to fix it, we're still going to recall the vehicles and we'll take those actions. In this case, there may be a communication lag because there is a fix, whether it's a check or a replacement of the product. So that does exist for that specific vehicle.
So she's getting bad information from her dealership, or they haven't been told yet?
I would assume. I can follow up if you'd like.
Well, I mean, I think the public would want to know that, because you now have
that there is
millions of vehicles out there under recall, and she was told to go ahead and drive the vehicle if she felt safe, and I'm not sure that every driver would know whether they should feel safe or not. I mean, some people, if the power steering goes out, are strong people, and maybe it's happened to them before, and they know that it's going to take a little bit more effort to steer. Other people might not. So, I mean, I don't even know how the average consumer is supposed to know whether they feel safe or not after a vehicle's been recalled. Doesn't the company have some disclosure responsibility to say these things, at least these things could happen?
We have done that, and that is a part of the letter that we send to the customer when we notify them of this issue, and then we provide information to the dealers as well.
Okay. One final question. We talk about, and we're going to have the NHTSA representative here earlier. One of the things that you are not required to do is to provide warranty data proactively to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Do you think that that's something that ought to be considered, that it might be helpful? In this case, maybe dots could have been connected sooner if all that data
I welcome the opportunity to look at what information that NHTSA would feel is of value to submit.
Okay, thank you.
We'll
I yield back.
Thank you. Gentleman yields back. Now recognize Mr. Harper for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and to the family members that are here.